Every single person in this world is a part of an economy. Whether it be in America or Mexico, each and every one of us belong to a moving system. In simple terms, the economy is a system of interrelated production and consumption activities, where we act as either a consumer or a producer, or even both. An economy is composed of a large number of factors, but in this video, the main economic factor to be taken into attention is inflation. You may wonder, what is inflation and why is it an important aspect of the economy? Let's have a look. What is inflation? It can be simply described as a continuous rise in average price levels in a certain economy. It happens due to the decline of purchasing power of a given currency over time, increasing the average price of goods and services. When this factor is expressed as a percentage, it means that the quantitative percentage of goods and services that can be bought at a particular price has decreased in comparison to before. Inflation can be regarded as positive and negative according to the type of assets that you own. For example, a person who owns tangible assets such as lands, properties, machinery, and etc. may find it positive, while the common mass may find it negative due to the increase in price of general goods and services. Also, one may question the repercussions of inflation on the economy. One may question demands about its impacts. Well, various factors contribute to this. Most importantly, inflation results in the reduction of purchasing power of a currency. It means that more money is now needed to buy the same items in comparison to previous times. It can result in a reduction of economic growth, a fall in sales and business, as well as can harm the economic well-being of the public, which can adversely affect the country. With this being said, here are 5 ways that you can prepare for an upcoming inflation. Number 1. Savings. The general public can be prepared for an upcoming economic inflation in various ways. One such way is saving their hard-earned cash so they could remain calm and collective. This method can be effective in short-term inflation periods. It can be compared to an emergency fund. As recommended by economic experts, the general public can start saving money, making them stable and prepared to fulfill their basic needs even in a period of inflation. For example, if you're in a period of heavy rain and expecting an incoming flood season, the first thing you do is prepare a safer place and stock some essential items that is useful for emergencies, so you can fulfill your basic needs without trying hard to survive under extreme circumstances. The same method can be applied in preparing for upcoming economic inflation as an individual by managing your savings. However, by saving money, even though you are prepared for an upcoming inflation and manage to fulfill your basic needs, there is no guarantee about the stability of your income after the inflation period. As mentioned in the International Monetary Fund's F&D article, a crucial effect on the general public by inflation is debt. Therefore, proper management of finances, savings, as well as expense rates to suit your income should be administered by every person in order to prepare for any kind of upcoming economic inflation. Number 2. Safe investments. What is investing? It is simply putting money into financial schemes, shares, property, or a commercial venture with the expectation of earning a profit. But inflation can result in depreciating values of stocks, which can result in gaining losses from investments. As the general public is engaged in investing in shares, properties, and etc., this factor is of utmost importance. Safe investments can prepare you for an upcoming inflation by hedging your money to protect your financial stability. What are safe investments? Simply put, as an investor, safe investments is a notion of investing in safe asset classes that tend to outperform the market during inflation, commonly known as anti-inflation assets. For example, real estate is a reliable choice in the US regarding the above matter. Moreover, commodities such as gold, as well as investing in stocks that appreciate with inflation, can be regarded as the best way for common investors to be prepared for an upcoming economic inflation. As gold is an item that constantly appreciates with inflation, the risk of it depreciating in value is low. Hence, as advised by economic experts, investing in anti-inflation assets such as gold can be regarded as a very reliable choice when preparing for an upcoming economic inflation. Action can be taken to sell or exchange assets when their values reach higher prices, resulting in greater profits. Number 3. Commodities Funds. Inflation is a period of rising value for goods and services, literally for everything. Therefore, a money stash is not going to help you in surviving the inflation period or surviving after the fact. When investing in commodities, obviously buying a load of coal has its drawbacks. And most of the time, small investors who invest in commodities via futures markets lose early and often. But you can invest in commodities via exchange-traded funds. These funds have a system of typically tracking a commodity futures index. Many commodities have big weightings on energy. For example, the Goldman Sachs Commodity Index, better known as the ticker symbol GSCI, is a commodity index fund with 67% investments in energy. Another popular ETF include the PowerShares DB Commodity Index Fund, ticker symbol DBC. It's also a well-known and highly diversified commodity fund. When taking actively managed natural resource funds into consideration, two funds that have constantly beaten their competitors are Vanguard Energy, ticker symbol VGENX, and Icon Energy, ticker symbol ICENX. Number 4. Try not to overreact. Inflation is a common process. It happens every year. In the United States, the annual inflation rate is about 2%. This is a healthy inflation level, and with 2%, consumers can borrow and spend and do everything they like without overheating the economy. It also makes paying debts easier. Therefore, there's no need to overreact and take swift action with a mere fear of an upcoming inflation. We, the general public, experience inflation every year, and therefore there's no need to act haste by trying to accumulate assets or by trying to hoard money and resources in the fear of an upcoming inflation, which might result in probable losses. Threatening inflation hasn't shown in decades. Since the 90s, annual inflation has been at an average of 1.8% to 2%. Therefore, we need to remember that not all inflation is wallet harming. Apart from hyperinflation, which results in a drastic increase in prices and can adversely affect your economy, annual inflation patterns can almost do no significant harm. In fact, annual inflation can actually be beneficial to the general economy. Transitory inflation, which results in temporary inflation patterns, can affect the economy up to a certain extent during a specific time period. In this situation, unlike in hyperinflation, the rule of what goes up must come down is applied. Therefore, be prepared, but don't overreact. Number 5. Consider growth stocks, dividend-paying equities, and consumer staples. When preparing for an upcoming economic inflation, stockholders have an added advantage at beating the inflation. Companies normally pass along higher inflation in the form of higher prices, and the same market impacts that result in increasing inflation are also what tend to increase the value of companies. A different yet equally important asset class to consider when preparing for inflation is dividend-paying stocks. It has been reported that annualized dividend increases over time have outpaced inflation. Therefore, in preparing for an upcoming economic inflation, buying dividend-paying stocks can be a wise choice. Investing in stocks that have high growth potential, according to market strategists, can be considered another wise choice for the general public. Inside the US as well as beyond, one may find the emerging market equities being a strong bet. One may wonder how we identify stocks with high growth potential. It's quite simple. You can easily compare the growth trends of various company shares in the same industrial field during a specific period of time, or even a general stock market comparison would be a great help. For this purpose, you can simply use the internet in finding the necessary information. However, regarding buying stocks, as advised by experts, it is best to take it slow, as it is not a fast gamble. To conclude, these were 5 ways that you could prepare for an upcoming economic inflation, and we have presented how you should prepare, what you should consider in terms of investments, and how you can successfully face an inflation period without harming your economic stability. We hope you have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already.